What's going on, YouTube modeling community? Pappy here at West Georgia Rods and Customs. Thought I'd do a little installation of Pappy's tutorials on how to build a cleaner model. When I say cleaner, does that mean road grime, anything like that? Nope, that's not what I'm talking about. One of the things that I get compliments, and I really appreciate it. They go, Pappy, that's a clean bill. Well, how do you do such a clean bill? There's a lot of easy tricks and tips I'd like to pass along to y'all that can, where when you finish a model, just things that you need to generally look out for. One of the things that I see, and I'm kind of anal about, is in my building is number one is keeping a clean bench. As you can tell right here, pretty clean, pretty clean, pretty clean. Pretty clean, pretty clean, pretty clean. Not bad. It's just not cluttered up with stuff. And then I've got everything pretty, pretty handy with as far as the stuff that I need in a bill. Even when you look over here to the other side, I got things over here that I generally need, but it's within my hand. It's within arm's reach right there. That's my little work area. Now, one of the things that when I'm working, when I'm building on the bench, when you're gluing different things, in some of my earlier, if you're new to my channel and you have, if you've looked back at some of my tutorial series, there's just different things. I've covered everything from using different glues. Right there's another one. Right here's a glue that I'm fixing to use. Getting ready to put the bumpers on the 69 Camaro right here. Do I want to use, do I want to use an epoxy? Do I want to use a CA glue? Do I want to use the old, the old red glue or what? Each glue has its own purpose. Why would I not want to use this on that right there as far as putting a bumper on? Well, number one, this stuff right here will really screw a paint job up. All you got to do, I don't even want to get this near that. So I'm going to keep that away. Do I want to use red glue? Nope. I'm going to put that back up on the corner. Do I want to use the Tamiya different type glue right there? Do I want to use any of those three? Nope, don't want to do that. Still, it will screw up a paint job. So I'm going to use canopy glue. It's kind of a white glue, but a lot of the RC guys and a lot of the guys that build airplanes, they use this. So I'm going to run me just a little small thin bead right across right there, let it set up for just a few seconds or maybe a minute. And then I'm going to take that bumper and I'm going to tack everything in there right there. And it will stay it'll stay. I mean, that's what it is. It's a canopy glue that the RC guys use to glue canopies on these fast RC planes. So if they can use it, why not use it with this? Does it do anything to the paint? Nope. If you screw up, you can kind of peel it off or whatever, roll it up just like an old booger and throw it off. Hate to say it like that, but that's what that stuff is for. And it dries clear, and it won't screw up a paint job. So I'm gonna put the bumpers on with that. Another thing, even if I do use old red glue right here, what's one of the characteristics that it does? If you're gluing, say, a small part, you touch that old red glue right there to that right there, it leaves that old stringy mess. Just let it dry for a second. Don't get it near the paint job because it will, like I say, mess the paint job up. So what I do, once it gets a little bit tacky and dry, just take and just kind of drag it off with your finger and rub it on a paper towel or something. Then go ahead, tack it, hit it, and hold it in place for a second, and it's there forever. A couple other things. As far as painting, when I'm detail painting, and I'm going to use this piece right here as a for instance, this is the latch and horn assembly that goes up in the front of this Camaro. One of the things when I'm detail painting, the first base color that I sprayed that thing silver. Then as far as the gold, Scully, give me a hand. You sitting up there, you ain't doing anything. One of the things that you see right here is the detail painting that I did on the horn assembly, the gold. I just took a small paintbrush prior to that. And one of the things I did was, okay, I choose a paintbrush and I practice with it before I even start applying paint. Am I going to paint that horn assembly with that right there? Nope. Let me throw that away. Am I going to paint it with that one right there? Probably, as you can tell, but I practice before I even put the paint on the piece itself. I'll paint that first base color silver, let it dry, then I'll start pulling me different brushes out. Here's two different brushes that I like to use a lot of detail painting. You can tell the difference in them. This one's kind of worn out right here on the left, but this one right here that I'm using right here, as you can tell, what I would do is I would practice before I do anything. Just, the strokes that I'm going to use in painting this piece. I'd rather do it now and practice it before I get the paint on there and go, God, that looks like crap. Then once you get finished, set it to the side. Don't touch it again. Let the colors set, and then you got you a nice detailed piece of styrene right there. But just a little small tidbits of information. I'm not saying everything that I do is right, but it's what works for me here on my bench. One of the other things that I like to do is, not only do I try to keep my bench clean, not cluttered, but I keep all my tools over here to the side. I don't want them all, clustered up right here in the work area. So I just kind of keep them right here to the side. I keep different blades in my X-Actos, different types of sanding sticks, things like that. I got the flat blade. I got a couple of different X-Acto type blades right here. I got the number 11 blades. Got the punch blades, even got a couple of, sometimes you may want to drill a hole, you got your pin vise right there. But just having things handy, it helps in your building as far as keep making a cleaner build. Another thing that I like to do is, and if you look right here, what's the use of having a great big roll of paper towels? My God, you're working in 1/24 scale, guys. Why do you need a great big piece of paper towel? I know they're plentiful, but I have to go in there and beg Vicky sometimes to let me have a whole roll of paper towels, which I don't. I mean, what I do is I'll take about 10 or 12 sheets of paper towel. When you roll it off, they're perforated. I'll take about 10 or 12 and I'll tear them off, fold them in half, and I'll cut them into small squares, which these right here, if you look at them, they're about 3 inches by 3 inches. And I'll just leave a little thing full sitting right over there. If I get a little mess or something, I need to wipe a piece of, wipe a little glue off or something right there. You're using just a small amount of a paper towel. And like I say, you're working in 24 scale. Why use a big, 12 by 12 sheet of paper towel to wipe off this? Man, you just need that one little small thing. A lot of guys, another thing and I ran into this last night. I was putting the windshield in right here, but prior to it, I noticed one thing that I had done. Of course, I had fingerprints on it, and also I had some scuff marks in there. So first thing that I do is I take out the novice number 1, clean it up real good, and then number 2, I take the number 2 fine scratch remover and I polish that windshield with it. Do I use the paper towels? No. Novice makes a cloth just for their polishing systems. And this is what I do. Instead of using that great big cloth, what I do, I cut it down into a 3 by 3 square, and I take one piece, apply the cleaner, get a good clean surface, come back, take another small 3 by 3, put that fine scratch remover on that windshield, polish it out. Then I take a third one of these little small ones and polish that windshield out to a high luster. After you get the windshield polished and you put it in, one of the things, and when I go to a lot of shows, one of the things I look at is I see fingerprints on the inside of the windshield. You polish, and you're like, God, how am I going to get that out? Before you marry that, the interior pan to the body itself, take you one of those novice pads, put you that number 1 cleaner in there, wipe that windshield down and the inside of the rear glass, and get that good thing good and clean. Mount your interior pan in there, and you're done. The only time you may touch the windshield or something with your finger, is during the assembly. So what do? Just wipe that windshield down with it again. Another thing that, while you're building, of course, you're going to be handling the body a lot during the polishing and after the, during the assembly and everything, and you'll get kind of a greasy, film print. You'll see fingerprints and stuff from your grease on your hands. Just take that #1 cleaner. Do the same thing. Wipe that thing down. Say after you worked on it one night and you set it down, just take that #1 cleaner, wet you a little small paper towel down from the novice system right there, and just wipe the car down. And then set it down. You're ready for the, for the next day. What else? Let me think about some other things that that you're going to be likely to, encounter during a build. When you're, when you're gluing something, of course, you may get, even if you're using the old red glue itself, you may get that stuff on your fingers. Always, and one of the things, and I always catch myself doing it, before I even touch a perfectly painted body, I always look at my fingers. If I got any kind of glue on my finger, and I'll even take an old polishing rag or something and just lay it in my lap during the process of when I'm gluing something. I'll look my fingers over real good, and then I wipe my fingers off, make sure I don't have any of that glue on it. And then I'll pick up the body or something like that, whatever I'm fixing to glue. That way, and there's nothing no more discouraging than touching the side of a fender or the top of the roof or the top of a freshly painted hood and seeing one of those ugly old finger marks. So, but with that being said, that's just some of the tips and tricks that I've learned over the years of building models that, if I can pass it along, I'll pass it along. It's not a secret. It's nothing that, it's not the right way, but it's not the wrong way for me, but hopefully it'll help someone down the line. So guys, this is, if you got any questions or anything, feel free to just leave me a comment down in the bottom or anything. If you got anything to share, leave me a comment. Anyhow, guys, God bless y'all. Remember, guys, if you can dream it, build it, Pappy out.